If 2025 was an experimental and unconventional year for cinema, what can we expect from 2026? Are we going to get the highest grossing film of all time this year? Or is this the year where MCU finds its doom? And is this the year where some long dormant legacy IPs finally find their resurgence? Let me start by wishing all of you a very happy new year. May this year bring you the best of health, happiness, success, and everything that brings joy into your life. And now, let's get down to the main event. This video is about the movies that I'm most excited for. These movies may not be the best movies that are gonna set the Oscars on fire. And these may not be the movies that get the big bucks. But these are the movies that make me wanna get either a time machine or they make me want to get a VIP press access card so I can go and watch these movies before the rest of the world. Now, just to be clear, this is my own list. These are the movies that I'm most excited for. If you've got a top 10 list, please don't hesitate to drop your top 10 in the comments below. I really encourage it. And before I started this channel, it seemed like the easiest thing to come up with top 10 lists. But now that I'm doing it professionally with the recap I did for 2025 and with this video, what I've realized is it is a very grueling and a very heartbreaking process because there are just so many movies that come out in a year and you have to just pick the best of the best, and you feel so bad that you're actually happy about all of these movies, you're excited about all of them, but you still got to keep some of them out. Editing is a bitch. But I've still got a handful of movies that are gonna get honorable mentions before we start with our top 10. So let's dive into it. So for my honorable mentions, I've got 5 names here and in no particular order. Now, these are movies that look promising to me, movies that I would definitely go to watch in the theater. But these movies fell short because maybe they're not as big as the rest of the movies on my top 10. But nevertheless, I still thought that these movies deserve an honorable mention. The movie that I want to start with is called Digger, starring the OG Hollywood star Tom Cruise, along with Riz Ahmed, who I believe is the most underrated actor these past 5 years. And this movie is going to be directed by the same dude who directed The Revenant. The movie, by the way, which got Leo DiCaprio his first Oscar. Now, this movie is going to be set in a dystopian world where the savior and the destructor are one and the same. So I'm really excited. We've only had a teaser for this movie, but I think it is gonna be something. Up next is Disclosure Day. Steven Spielberg is returning after a long hiatus to make a movie about aliens. Need I say anything more? I think it just sets the tone from the first line. So, Disclosure Day is another movie that I'm gonna be looking forward to this year. Talking about aliens and space, we've got another movie coming in. Now, this movie is based on a book that was written by the same writer who wrote The Martian. And it is also going to be directed by the same people who directed The Martian, which I believe has been one of the best space movies of this century. Honestly, I won't even shy away from calling them the holy trinity of space fiction for this generation. So for that reason, I'm really going to be looking forward to Project Hail Mary. Up next is the Clayface. So DC's coming up with 2 movies this year. The second one is going to be Clayface. All right, now hear me out. A body horror movie in the superhero space, led by one of the most menacing Batman villains of all time, and directed by one of the best horror creators in the business in this decade, Mike Flanagan. This movie is literally Golu's wet dream, but I think this is the wildest swing DC is ever gonna take, and I am all up for this movie. Now, the 5th movie and the final movie that gets an honorable mention, and this almost made it to my list, is Dune 3. The world of Dune is so mesmerizing, it is so magical, and it is so rich. Like Dune, the first one and the second one, should actually be a part of the syllabus for a lot of film schools, especially people who want to study cinematography and camera work and set design and production design. But compared to the rest, I'm looking forward to Dune, but I'm not really excited for Dune. Now that we've covered the appetizers, it's time for the main course. A beloved IP that ended on a beautiful yet heartbreaking note decided to return to the theaters this year. But this time, it's not just toys or kids growing older or even the garbage processing facility. This time, it's technology finding space in the children's rooms. I honestly don't think Toy Story needed another movie. But Pixar's been flunking for a couple of years now, so Pixar really needs to hit it out of the park, and perhaps that's the reason that they decided to revisit this. But considering the premise, I am excited for this movie, and that's why Toy Story 5 is number 10 on my list. Let me say this up front. This is a cursed franchise that has found it impossible to stay relevant with the times. But when the Shoe Dog's son, who gave us the best Transformers movie ever, decides to go this way, I have enough reasons to be excited. Plus, swords, mystical lands, and the haunting yet funny cackle of Skeletor, Masters of the Universe, is number 9 on my list. The king of Bollywood has had a true resurgence since Pathan and Jawan in 2023. I've been a sucker for SRK since I was 3, and now when he comes out with a movie where he's playing a gun for hire who's taken on a contract to protect a child, how can I not be excited about this movie? And bonus points for the way he looks. And for that reason, King is number 8 on my list. You know these characters, your dad knows them, even your boomer grandpa knows them. But I never expected the first Mario movie to be that good. That movie was seriously a rager. And I think this one is gonna be bigger, it's gonna be better, crazier, funnier, and I am down for it. And for that reason, Super Mario Galaxy is number 7 on my list. This Hindi movie came out of nowhere. It only dropped a first look, a teaser trailer, and then it ruled the box office. It went on to become the biggest Hindi film of this year and maybe of all time as well. And at the end of the movie, they tell us that the sequel is coming in just 4 months. This movie has a magnificent cast. It boasted of some stellar performances. It had a gripping storyline, a gripping plot that kept you hooked from beginning to end. Overall, a very refreshing experience in Hindi cinema. And the soundtrack was a banger. And because of all these reasons, Dhurandhar 2 comes number 6 on this list. And by the way, if you haven't, please don't forget to check out my review of Dhurandhar. You can see the card here, or I'm also going to pop the link in the description. So please check it out. Now, if you'd asked me this question in October 2025, Supergirl was a guaranteed top 3 in this list. There have also been a lot of announcements for a lot of other projects that I'm really excited for. So it is a little heartbreaking for me that Supergirl dropped from top 3 to number 5. Nevertheless, I would always be excited to get back into the DC world of James Gunn that he started building last year. There is a phenomenal talent like Millie Alcock who's gonna play Supergirl this year. And the comic that this movie is going to be based on is an absolute masterpiece. And not to forget, this is the movie where we get the biggest, baddest dude in DC. So, for all of these reasons, Supergirl still makes it to my top 5 most anticipated movies of 2026. And I'm willing to bet on this. Supergirl is gonna be the hottest DC property of this year. Guys, note this down. This is undoubtedly gonna be the biggest Hindi movie of 2026. It may even go on to become the biggest Hindi movie of all time. Based on the centuries old Hindu mythology, the Ramayana is to India what Homer's Odyssey is to Rome or to Greece. And dare I say, it's even more prized than that. This movie is gonna be a spectacle. It's gonna be a moment in history for Hindi cinema. It's gonna be a cinematic experience unlike any other that we've ever witnessed. And this is a movie that's gonna become integral to the cultural and the cinematic fabric of India. And when you get the greatest Indian music composer and the greatest Hollywood composer of this century collaborating on a project, I think it becomes legendary, glorious, and truly unforgettable. And for all of these reasons, Ramayana becomes my fourth most anticipated film of the year and my most anticipated Hindi film of the year. All right, this is the juicy part now. The three movies that I'm most excited for this year. I'll be honest for a second here. I struggle to appreciate Nolan for his most celebrated movies, but I have absolute admiration for his most underrated movies. Now, if there's something that Nolan's always promised and delivered, it is a spectacle and a thought provoking and gripping premise. And he's one of the first ones to truly harness the power and the potential of IMAX. But this time, he's gone a step further with The Odyssey. Nolan's gonna give us the first ever movie to be completely shot on IMAX and IMAX alone. And this has to be the wildest and the most absurd Nolan movie ever. I'll try and say this once. It is the most un-Nolan like movie ever made. Because seriously, consider this, to move away from sci fi to take an epic like Homer's Odyssey and a star cast that includes Spider Man, Batman, the Catwoman, the Punisher, Nakia, Clea, and the dude who made Air Jordans a reality. Sorry, Mr. Bourne. I have a feeling that this might become my favorite Nolan movie of all time. So, Christopher Nolan's Odyssey is number 3 on my list. Now, this was the toughest decision I had to make for this video. This movie could have been and should have been number 1 on my list. He is, after all, my favorite superhero, often competing with Batman for that spot. But just because of the stakes, the roster, the the scale of the movie, this had to drop down at number 2. Spider-Man has always gotten me excited like nothing else.
I love you guys.
And you can say whatever you want. Tom Holland for me would always be Spider 1.
Stop arguing, both of you. Listen to Peter 1.
The way Spider Man No Way Home ended with his existence erased from the memory of the world, and how his love story with MJ came to such a tragic end. I really want to know what Parker's been up to. Is the dude keeping okay? How is he getting on with uni with his assignments? Now, the marketing for this movie has been a case study from the day this movie even started shooting, with sets being established in Glasgow to replicate New York, the sets being open to the general public. God, I really wish I could have been in Glasgow, because it would have been a moment. And the kind of energy on the set and the kind of photos that were coming out. See, actors are artists at the end of the day. And when you put them in an environment that's as charged as that is, it's got to have an impact on the performance as well. And seriously, this movie has an energy unlike any Spider Man movie we've ever seen. Okay, even moving beyond that, just look at who all are gonna be in this movie. You're gonna have the Punisher, who has to be like one of my favorite Marvel characters from the TV space. No, he's definitely my favorite Marvel TV character of all time. You've got, what's his name? You've got Mr. Negative, you've got the Scorpion, you've got the Hulk.
God, please let it be the angry rage monster this time, because I'm seriously done with that goofy Professor Hulk.
This is gonna be the best Spider Man movie ever. Period. And therefore, Spider Man Brand New Day is my second most anticipated movie of 2026. With that down, now it's time for the big reveal. My most anticipated movie of 2026. This was obvious, wasn't it? Like, the stakes have never been higher for MCU. Not with Iron Man, not with the first Avengers movie, not with Spider Man Homecoming, not even with Avengers Infinity War or Endgame. MCU has been on the rocks for quite some time now, and the guys over at Disney really need this movie to do well if they are to resuscitate the MCU, which has been on life support for like 5 or 6 years now. But the roster, the scale, the chatter and the buzz surrounding this movie feels like a heightened version of what we experienced even before Avengers Endgame. Tentpole characters returning, legacy characters from other universes coming under the fold, the Russo brothers returning, and dude, the Russo brothers are meant for the MCU. They're like beer and chips. Sorry, I meant to say wine and cheese. The Russos haven't given us a bad MCU movie yet. And every single Marvel movie that they've done sits in the top 10 MCU list for almost every MCU fan. And with that track record and the grasp on the Marvel characters and the Marvel lore, I think they are gonna deliver something spectacular and something remarkable again. And if I said Spider Man Brand New Day will be the best Spidey movie ever, I'm pretty certain Avengers Doomsday has the potential to be the highest grossing film of all time. Just like, Spider Man Brand New Day, the marketing for Avengers Doomsday also started pretty early on. Like to consider, we're almost like a year away from the release of this film, but the first teasers have started dropping in the theaters already. There are those leaked teasers, which I honestly believe Marvel's leaking on purpose, like just to create an extra hype, with RDJ returning this time. It's I've got some concerns about that, but I'm gonna keep some content to myself because I've got to churn out videos every week. But with RDJ coming back, with my boy Steve Rogers coming back again. Like, seriously, if Avengers Doomsday is a success, all the damage that's been done to the Marvel brand for the last 5 or 6 years will be undone. People would be back in the theaters to enjoy these Marvel movies, these glorious films about superheroes and supervillains, and this fantastic world of imagination. I want to relive the moments that I lived with Infinity War or with Endgame. I want to feel like sitting in a theater that's turned into a stadium all over again. Those are the moments that I live for. Those are the moments that really bring me joy. Those are the moments, really, those are the moments why I am still a sucker for superheroes. It's special for us Marvel fans. You know, Reddit's buzzing again, the fan theories have started coming up again. I'm finding my faith again in the MCU. I feel this is a movie that will deliver everything that it's supposed to. This movie is going to correct a lot of the wrongs that have happened over the past 5 or 6 years. I think this movie again is going to be a moment in cinematic history. It's going to be a moment in our personal lives as well when we get to see these characters again on the big screen fighting together as one. And I am all up for it. Hands down, Avengers Doomsday is that one movie that I'm most excited for in this year. In fact, if you're someone who's planning a time heist, I want in. I'm willing to invest, I'm willing to travel with you. The only condition being we go straight to December 17th, 2026. Alright, so these are my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2026. Do you agree with this list? Do you disagree with this list? Or if you've got a list of your own, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. And if you like this video, like always, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to TMB for the latest and the best in pop culture. Up next, I've got two ideas and I'm still figuring out which one to go with first. So one idea is what DC is gonna look like in 2026, and the other one's what MCU is gonna look like this year. If you've got thoughts on which one do you wanna watch first, please drop them in the comments or keep an eye on the community tab as well because I might be putting it up to vote. But stay tuned and I'll be back with more. Until next time, this is the Millennial Bard signing off.